Valentine's Day Mickey and Minnie Mouse with a 3D lace nail art tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish.
Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to be doing a mildly 3D Mickey and Minnie Mouse Valentine's Day design. So the reason it's mildly 3D is because there's some 3D lace on it, which I really enjoy doing, and it's one of my favorite things to have on my nails if I'm wanting to go something that's 3D because it's super easy to do. It's probably the easiest lace, the easiest method I think of to do lace unless you're doing, say, stamping or like a transfer foil or something like that. So if you're actually going to be hand creating the lace, I think this is definitely the method to use, and you can switch up the colors if you like. But I did a kind of a classic Mickey Minnie that are kissing each other, and my parents got married at Disneyland a long time ago and on Valentine's Day. So I thought that this would really be appropriate as sort of a little tribute to them and their anniversary. And so this is actually the first of 2 Valentine's Day videos that I'm doing this year. And it is also, they're also both kind of inspired by my parents and their anniversary. So that's kind of fun, and I hope you enjoy that. And don't forget to click subscribe to my future videos as well.
Begin by painting your nails with a white French tip. And I would recommend using gel polish for that. So then on my middle nail, I'm going to start painting my Minnie Mouse. So you want her lips to be facing your index, or no, not your ring nail. So you want to make sure that her face is pointing that way. So just start with the outline of a circle, and then on the side where her mouth and her nose are, add just a little oval for her nose, and then add, that's just like her snout area, and then add the actual nose above that with black, and then her lips, and then add 2 smaller circles than that original one. And if they don't fit entirely on your nail, that is perfectly acceptable. I know I wanted her to be really nice and big on my nails, so her ears were cut off just a little bit. And I also added a hat. I was going for like the classic Minnie and Mickey Mouse, the originals, and she didn't have a bow then. She had a little hat, so I went with a hat instead of the bow, but you could definitely use the bow if you preferred that way. And then add just the outline, the shape of where her face is, that's white, and then where the back of her head is, that's black. So then I'm going to be filling in her face with white, and once again, like I said, going with the classic design, I went with white instead of the creamy color that they now use for their faces. But like I said, you could definitely go back to, or use the current one instead. And then I'm going to be filling in her ears with some black, as well as the back of her head and the little bit of body that shows. And if you wanted, you could extend her hands out towards Mickey that's going to be on my ring nail. I just wanted to keep it simple and not confuse the design too much, but just really keep it, like I said, simple and relatively easy. And then fill in her hat with some red. And I'm also, this isn't part of the original design, but it's something I wanted to do. I just added a little line of red right on her lips. So I just wanted to bring in some more of that red color and really emphasize that this is Minnie Mouse. And so then I'm going to be adding a second coat of white paint over that face area just because mine wasn't quite opaque, and then I'm going to blend in just the slightest bit of like a creamy peach color just to make it look like maybe she's blushing a little bit. And then I'm going to be fixing up my outline, so I'm going back with one of those nice really small brushes and just touching up all the outlines with black, adding another little detail line on her hat. And just anywhere that needs a little bit of touching up, I'm going to touch it up. And then I'm going to be painting her eyes, so I'm just going to start with sort of a backward C that's really, really deep. And then after I have that on there, I'm going to add 3 eyelashes. Just like that. So now on my ring nail, I'm going to be following the same basic steps to paint my Mickey Mouse, but instead there's a couple things that you don't do. So he's actually easier. So start with that same circle, then add his nose, or snout area, and then his actual nose on top of that, and then his lips. And on this one, you're going to want it to be facing your middle nail. And then add the outlines for his ears, but this time you're not going to worry about giving him a hat because that's just Minnie Mouse. And you also don't have to worry about giving him eyelashes or the red lips either. So like I said, pretty much the same basic procedure as doing Minnie Mouse, but you just don't do quite as much. So if you wanted to give it and do the easier one first and get a feel for it, and then go through and do Minnie Mouse that has a couple more details, you would probably want to start with Mickey Mouse instead. So then just like I did with Minnie, I'm going to be filling in his face with the white, and then filling in his ears with black, as well as the back of his head and that little bit of body. So they pretty much mirror each other, except for those couple little details that are missing on Mickey. And then I'm going to be adding the second coat of white, just like I did before, and then once again adding just a touch of blending in some of that peach on his cheek, just to make it look like he's maybe a little embarrassed and blushing, and then touching up my outlines. And that little bit of blush is another thing that isn't in the original design because they were just black and white, except for that little bit of red that you see on her, but I thought that would be cute. So now to create the lace, start by painting red gel polish onto your nail, and with the index nail I'm covering the entire nail with it, and try to get this to be a really nice even layer. And I wanted to have it be a little bit thicker than you might normally apply a layer of gel polish, and then thoroughly cover that with some clear acrylic powder. And I actually went through just a couple layers of that. You want it to be almost kind of crystally looking once you're done, and really, really dry. So then I'm going to take dotting tools and I'm going to start carving out my little lace design. So I did a Mickey Mouse silhouette head in the center. So that's one larger circle with two smaller circles coming off of that, and then a heart above and below his head. So I'm just going to start with the two loops of the heart, or the rounded section, and then using a smaller dotting tool, carve out the point. So I got a heart, a Mickey Mouse, and then a heart again. And then just because I don't have too much space around it, I'm going to be just doing a couple little polka dots. And if at any point you find that your gel polish becomes too wet and it's not holding your design, you can at any time go through and add some more of that clear acrylic powder, and that's fine. So then after you get done with each nail, go ahead and either cure it or flash cure it, just so that it holds its shape and doesn't get messed up as you're doing the other ones. And then on my pinky and my thumbnail, I just did a little half moon of that lace. So I just painted a little half circle at my cuticle, and then I'm going to be covering that once again with the acrylic powder. And then I'm going to be carving out just a Mickey Mouse head on these ones. So start out with that circle like that, and then add the two smaller circles above it, and then just a little line of polka dots around the outside edge. And if you need to touch up your lines, you can go through and do that before you cure it. And then after that's all done, I'm not going to bother with top coating the lace nails. I wanted those to stay matte, or over the lace itself, but beneath the lace and then over my Mickey and my Minnie Mouse. Cover that all with a nice layer of top coat. And that is it. So I hope you like this design, and please share any recreations with me on Facebook and Instagram. I would absolutely love to see them, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!